And welcome to Weinman Stadium. You're watching the high school football game of the week. I'm Scott Singer along with Donald Rucker as we're here on the campus of Cartersville High School in the 5th week of the season. And tonight, you couldn't ask for a bigger showdown as Rome comes calling. They're the number 6 team in Quad A. They face the number 1 team in AAA, and it should be a showdown of huge proportions tonight.
Scott, this is not a game that you need to sit down with your players and hype this game up. This is one of those games where you just look in their eyes and you know, guys, this is a big ball game. It's not a region game, but this is a game where people around the state, people in 6 AAA will know tonight whether Cartersville is for real or not. As you said, they're playing one of the top programs, not only the top-ranked teams in Quad A, but Rome High School has one of the top football programs in this state.
Exactly, and this rivalry goes back almost a couple decades because you think back to the East Rome, West Rome saga that used to come down here. Those teams used to come down here, and they used to beat up on some of these Cartersville teams a while ago. And now this is one of the first times these two teams have played since on the gridiron since the two schools have merged.
Yeah, Scott, and I think the communities are excited about that. I think Rome City is excited about playing Cartersville again. I think the Cartersville fans are excited again about playing Rome City again. As you said, it was East Rome and West Rome, but I think both cities and both communities are excited that this rivalry has now been renewed again.
And it should be a fantastic game. Both teams undefeated at 4-0 as they had their final tune-up before they get ready for their regions. And you can see it as just a packed house here at Weinman Stadium, and it should be one fantastic ball game.
I tell you, Scott, if it were ESPN game day, Corso would be here tonight. That's how big this game is. It doesn't get any bigger than this on Friday night high school football than Cartersville High School against the Rome Wolves.
You're absolutely right, and we're just about ready for the showdown here at Weinman Stadium. We'll take a quick break and come back with the coin toss. You're watching the high school football game of the week. And welcome back. You're watching the high school football game of the week, and today we are in for an incredible showdown. We've got the number 1 team in AAA facing the number 2 team in Quad A in the Georgia State Coaches Poll. Rome is also ranked in the top 5 in the 2 other polls in Quad A. So 2 of the state's best teams matching up here in the 5th week of the season. We have the coin toss. Cartersville has won the toss. They have deferred. Rome looks like they are going to get the football, and that means that the Wolves offense will be on the field first as we get ready to get this one underway from Weinman Stadium. Again, you're watching the high school football game of the week. This should be one fantastic contest. We'll be right back after this. And welcome back. You're watching the high school football game of the week, and here come the Hurricanes through their traditional banner, and we're just about ready to get things underway here from Weinman Stadium in what is considered by many to be one of the state's toughest games tonight, one of the biggest draws in the state. It is a packed house here at Weinman Stadium, and we're just about ready to get this one underway. I'm Scott Singer along with Donald Rucker, who will be joining us momentarily, taking care of an audio problem with him, and we're about ready to get things underway here from Weinman Stadium. The Hurricanes wearing their traditional gold helmets, purple jerseys, and gold pants at home. For the Rome Wolves on the other side of the field, they'll be wearing gold helmets, white jerseys, and white pants as we get ready to get this one underway. What a game we should have tonight. The weather is beautiful. The crowds have come from both sides of the state here as the faithful from Rome have made the long trip down Highway 411, and we're just about ready to get it underway. This should be one fantastic contest. The Hurricanes will kick to start things off. They're getting their final instructions from head coach Frank Barden, and of course back deep for the Rome Wolves as they make their way back to receive this kick. We are awaiting one of what we should say is going to be one of the better games in the state this weekend as Trent Dittmer puts the ball down on the 40-yard line, and we're just about ready to get it underway. Again, you're watching the Workhorse Productions High School Football Game of the Week. Don't forget to join us every Tuesday night at 8 o'clock and Saturday mornings at 9:30 on Channel 53 here on the Adelphia system, as you can watch Hurricane football every week of the season. A lot of exciting games coming up in the next 6 weeks as we get ready for region play. Trent Dittmer puts that ball down on the 40-yard line, and we're just about ready to get it underway here from Weinman Stadium. Just waiting on the referee's whistle. He's got it, and now Dittmer will kick deep. Back deep to receive for the Wolves is Brian Waters, and carrying the football that time across the 10, the 15, the 20. Still on his feet is going to be Ty Ragland. He's going to be brought down at the 24-yard line, and that's where the Rome Wolves will take over 1st and 10. What a big game this is tonight, and you just want to get your best foot forward early. The Hurricane defense going to go on the field first, and that means they're going to have to shut down this Rome team early on. Brian Waters comes from the sidelines with the play. He'll bring it into the huddle, and Rome will bring it up to the line for what will be the first offensive play of the game here with 11:53 to play here in the opening quarter. Rome brings it up to the line. They'll work out of the wing tee. Jermaine Woodard and Ty Ragland in the backfield along with Spivey, and this time they hand it off to Ragland around the right end, and he's hit and dropped by a plethora of purple jerseys right at the line of scrimmage. That's going to bring up 2nd and long, and, well, Rome didn't get anything going on their first offensive play of the game, but we do have an injury on the field, and we'll see who that is. Looks like it's Barrett Knaps, and that could be costly for the Hurricanes. He's clutching his knee and looks to be in severe pain, so the trainers have come out to work on him, and we'll take a quick break here. Again, you're watching the high school football game of the week. We'll be right back after this. And welcome back to Weinman Stadium. You're watching the high school football game of the week. Well, hopefully Barrett Knaps will be okay. He was able to walk off the field, but looks like he has a knee problem. We'll hopefully have an update for you on his injury from the sidelines later in this one. Brian Waters under center, drops back under play action, and here come the Hurricanes defensively. Ty Davis on the safety blitz comes in and drops him inside the 15 at the 14-yard line, and the Hurricanes are in business defensively, backing up Rome. It is now going to be 3rd and long for the Wolves, and not the start they wanted against this Hurricane defense. That time, Brian Waters tried to get back on defense, nowhere to go, and the Hurricanes were able to stuff him back defensively. Great effort defensively for the purple and gold. Rome breaks the huddle. They'll bring it up to the line. They're going to work from their own 17-yard line. It'll be 3rd and about 18 for the Wolves as they come out of the wing tee. Again, Waters sends Ragland in motion, and this time he gives it to him around the right end. Ragland looking for the corner. He's going to gain maybe 1 or 2 on the play, and it's going to bring up 4th down, and the Hurricanes are going to get the football here as their punt return team comes onto the field. There was a late fumble at the end of that play, but the referee's going to rule it dead at the 18-yard line, and now we'll see what happens here as the Hurricane faithful on their feet here at Weinman Stadium as the kick return team comes onto the field. Into the game now will be Corey Thacker, one of the better punters you'll see around the state. He'll kick just inside his own 5-yard line as the Hurricane kick return team loads up the line. Thacker gets the football, kicks it from the 10, a high, deep, floating kick. It'll be fielded by Justin Spivey at the 45. He reverses his field, comes back the other way, and gets across the midfield stripe. Loses the football momentarily, and then picks it back up, and he's going to be dropped at the 48-yard line, and that's where the Hurricanes are going to take over 1st and 10. And for Cartersville, exactly the field position they wanted on their first play of this game. So we'll see what Cartersville can do with it. The Hurricane faithful on their feet here at Weinman Stadium, and we're just about ready to see the Hurricane offense for the first time tonight. The Hurricanes will bring the play from the sidelines. Without Barrett Knaps in the game offensively, Cartersville will have to make a substitution. It looks like Tony Stevens is going to get the start. He'll be wearing number 3 tonight, different from the roster. Actually, Kenny Thomas is number 3 on the Hurricane roster. He'll be wearing number 53 tonight. And that'll be his new number, so I guess they've made a little change here. But again, Tony Stevens in the game at the Z-back position. Lyle Allen goes under center. Now he's going to come out, calls the audible, looks to the sidelines, gets the call from head coach Frank Barton, goes back under center. This time he's going to send Johnson in motion. He drops back under play action, has a little bit of time, throws it over the top. Wide opens is Tony Stevens at the 21. He's at the 10, the 5, and he's going to dance into the end zone for 6. And the Hurricanes have grabbed the early lead in this one. They now lead it 6-0 here with 9:43 to play in the opening quarter. And what a start for the purple and gold. And this is exactly what they wanted to do offensively. They get it going, and Tony Stevens takes it in, his first touchdown of the game. Hasn't even played in a couple weeks. He goes in from 48 yards out. The pitch and catch from Lyle Allen, and the Hurricanes have stuck 6 on the board. Trent Dittmer now steps in to attempt the extra point. Dittmer has only missed once all season at Westminster. The snap is down, the kick is up and on the way, and goes wide right. So his second miss of the year, and we'll take a quick 30 seconds and come back. You're watching the high school football game of the week. And welcome back. You're watching the high school football game of the week. I'm Scott Singer along with Donald Rucker as we're just about ready to get things underway here. Cartersville with an early 6-0 advantage, a 48-yard touchdown pass from Lyle Allen to Tony Stevens, and the Hurricanes are in business. Trent Dittmer set to kick off for the second time tonight, puts it back down on the 40-yard line. Again, back deep to receive will be Ty Ragland. Again, we'll wait on the referee's whistle. He's got it, and now Dittmer will kick away. Dittmer takes this one deep down the left sideline, and it'll be fielded inside the 5. He'll bring it back out across the 20, still on his feet. That's Ragland with the football, and he's going to get out to the 27, 28-yard line before being met by a plethora of Hurricane coverage guys, and that will put Rome in on their second field position here of the night. This time they'll start from the 28-yard line, and they'll bring it up, bring the play from the sidelines. Brian Waters will bring them up to the line, and it'll be 1st and 10. Rome trying to get something on the board. They trail this one 6-0 early after the 48-yard pitch and catch from Lyle Allen to Tony Stevens. Brian Waters goes under center. This time he sends it back in motion. He hands off up the middle of the field. The ball is on the ground. The Hurricanes say they have it, and they do. And just like that, the Cartersville Purple Hurricanes have taken over deep in Rome territory. They'll get the ball at the 26-yard line, and this is exactly the start the Hurricanes wanted here in the opening quarter of play here at Weinman Stadium. And what an effort it has been in the first 4 or 5 minutes here of this game. Cartersville just dominating up front, and now the offense will come on the field. Lyle Allen gets the call from the sidelines, and now he brings his troops up to the line. Cartersville's got Rome on their heels early in this one, and again, you're watching the high school football game of the week. Lyle Allen will go under center, out of the wing tee. Rome moving around. Cartersville taking their time. Allen calling the audible at the line. Goes back under center. This time he's going to send Stevens in motion, and looks like it may be a delay of game call, or maybe there's some movement on the line against the Canes. We'll see what the call is. And it is a delay of game. That'll back them up 5, and the Hurricanes will now work from the 31-yard line. And we've got a quick timeout here for the television viewers. We'll be right back after this. You're watching the high school football game of the week. And welcome back. You're watching the high school football game of the week. 8.5 minutes to go here in the opening quarter. We apologize for the technical difficulty. If we did miss the touchdown, it was a fantastic opening play as the Hurricanes went 48 yards. This time they throw to the flat to Terrell Johnson. He looks for the corner, and he's going to be wrestled down at the 28-yard line. The Rome Wolves tackle him after a short gain. It'll bring up 3rd and long now for the Canes after a couple penalties if you're just joining us.
Yeah, Cartersville has hurt itself with an illegal motion penalty, also a delay of game. So now they found themselves 3rd down and about 14 for a 1st down after Zuri Murphy recovered the fumble in the Rome backfield. But Cartersville given a short field right here, and normally, Scott, this is where they capitalize.
Well, the Hurricanes will bring it up to the line. They're going to work out of the wing tee. They'll go twins to the right side of the formation. This time they're going to send Johnson in motion. They hand off right up the middle to McClendon. He's loose at the 15, the 10, the 5, and he walks into the end zone for 6. And the Hurricanes lead it early, 12-0 at the 7:33 mark here in the opening quarter.
Scott, I don't know who made the call. I'm guessing Coach Barden, but that was a great call. Rome looking pass all the way, 3rd and 14. Coach Barden was able to cross him up, and they just ran a quick fullback trap right up the middle, and Chris McClendon went untouched into the end zone.
So at the 7:33 mark, the Hurricanes are in business again. They now lead it 12-0 early. The snap is down, the kick is up and on the way, and it's good. The Canes lead it 13-0. We'll take a quick break and come back. You're watching the high school football game of the week. And welcome back. The Hurricanes with a kickoff. A deep floating kick will be fielded inside the 10. He's across the 15, the 20, still on his feet outside, looks for the corner, and is across the 36-yard line, and that's where the Rome Wolves will take over 1st and 10.
That time, Ragland, number 6, Rome, doing a good job on the return. Trent wasn't able to get that ball up in the air high enough. That ball was kicked. A line drive really to about the 9-yard line, and Rome now started in their best field position of the night at the Rome 36-yard line. Cartersville up 13-0 with 7:27 to go in the first quarter.
Well, Donald, the Hurricanes get back defensively. Rome brings it up to the line. They're going to run out of the wing tee. They send Ragland in motion, and this time Waters drops back under some pressure now. In a little bit of trouble, turns it up, and the Hurricanes will bring him down after a short gain. It brings up about 2nd and 8.
Yeah, and that's where Waters can be dangerous with the speed that he has and the athlete that he is. When no one's open, you see what he can do with his legs. Pulled it down, tried to make something happen, picked up 3 yards on the play. But Cartersville, with that great closing speed on defense, able to close on Waters, a quarterback, and make the tackle. Second down, and call it 7 for Rome for a first down.
2nd and 7 the call. They'll work from their own 39-yard line. So a gain of 3 that time for Brian Waters. This time they'll again work out of the wing tee. Wing to the left side of the formation. They're going to send Ragland in motion. And again, Waters drops back, throws over the middle of the field. Had a receiver wide open, but it was incomplete. Just threw it behind him. The intended receiver, Jermaine Woodard, down the sideline.
Yeah, he was open, Scott, but Waters doesn't have time to throw the football. That time for Cartersville, number 9, Brendan Houston, was on him so quick he didn't have time to hit the receiver. But there are people open, but Cartersville bringing 7 and 8 guys against that wing tee offense. And, Scott, if you can stop the run and make a team one-dimensional, you got a chance to make some plays happen, particularly the way this Cartersville secondary has played over the last 3 games.
Well, Rome will bring it up to the line. They're going to work out of the wing tee. Receiver to the right side of the formation, and this time they send a back in motion. They drop back under play action. Waters again rolls out, throws to the backside, has a receiver up at the 35-yard line. He gets to the corner, breaks outside, and gets knocked out of bounds at the 48-yard line, and that'll be good enough for a Wolf first down.
Yeah, Cartersville had a chance against the screen to make the play, but Ty Davis was not able to bring the back down for Rome. Justin Spivey, number 5, as you can see on the replay, made the tackle. There's Waters, and it looked as if Cartersville had to defend it. There he is throwing it over 53, Thomas Head. And here's Davis right there having a chance to make the play in the backfield. As it stands, Woodard goes on for a first down for Rome.
Well, the Wolves will bring it up to the line. They're going to work out of the wing tee. They send Ragland in motion, and this time they give it to him around the right end. He's looking for the corner, trying to get outside. He's got it, and he's across the midfield stripe down to the Hurricane 48-yard line. A gain of 4 on first down brings up 2nd and 6.
Yeah, that time Rome was able to get the corner against Cartersville. And Ragland was able to get outside, almost turned that corner, picked up 5 yards on the play. Early in this game, in between the tackles, so you can tell, Scott, that Cartersville defensive front is winning this football game up front, but Rome has hit them for a couple of plays outside on the corners.
Well, the Wolves will bring it up to the line, again out of the wing tee. This time they're going to send Ragland in motion, and they hand off to the fullback up the middle, Spivey, who gets hit and dropped after about a gain of a yard on the play. It'll bring up 3rd and 5.
Again, the sophomore for Cartersville, number 44, Zoe Murphy, making the tackle. Rome trying to run a little trap play with the fullback back underneath. Murphy doing a good job staying home, making the play. It'll be 3rd down now, and 4 for Rome for a first down, and with 5:27 to go, Cartersville ahead 13-0. Scott, this becomes a big 3rd down right here for Rome.
Huge play for both sides of the football right now as the Wolves will break the huddle and bring it up to the line. They're going to work from the Hurricane 46-yard line. They're going to work out of the wing tee. Wide receiver to the right side of the formation. Waters goes under center. He drops back to pass, throws across the middle, and it's intercepted. Brought back by Terrell Johnson. He's across the midfield stripe at the 40, and he's going to be knocked down at the 36-yard line of Rome, and the Hurricanes are in business.
And, Scott, you knew when you saw 21, prime time. Terrell Johnson with the ball. I thought he was going to the house with it. When he gets his hands on the ball in open field, he's a threat to score from anywhere on the field. Rome trying to get the first down through the air. And we said, Scott, the last 3 weeks, I'm telling you, this secondary for Cartersville has played extremely well, gotten better each week. And again, Cartersville will start this drive with a short field on the Rome 36-yard line.
Well, the Hurricanes will bring it up to the line. They'll work, as you said, from the Rome 36. They're going to split Darius White out wide to the right side of the formation. This time they hand off around the right end to Morgan Alexander, who's dropped in the backfield and loses a couple. It'll bring up 2nd and long.
Yeah, the freshman for Cartersville getting early entry here. Morgan Alexander got into the football game last week in the 2nd quarter, and here early in the 1st quarter already making an appearance.
Lyle Allen comes from the sidelines with the play. The Hurricanes will break the huddle, bring it up to the line. They'll work from the Rome 39-yard line. The Wolves get back on defense. Again, Rome stacking the line of scrimmage, putting 5 men up on the line. This time, they're going to send a back in motion. They hand off up the middle, and Chris McClendon pushes his way back to almost the original line of scrimmage. A gain of 3 on the play brings up 3rd and 10.
The quarterback just reversed out McClendon for a quick hitter right there up in the middle. Picked up about 4 yards on the play, got back to the original line of scrimmage. It's got from just looking at this Rome defensive front offensive, the offensive line, they are not as big and not as physical as they were last year. they were, they were almost intimidating last year. But this is a little different Rome team this year. They still got the skill people, but not the defensive and offensive front.
Out of the wing tee, the Hurricanes will bring it up to the line. This time they're going to send Alexander in motion. They drop back under play action. He's got time, throws over the middle of the field, and wide open just down the middle of the field that time for the Hurricanes was Tony Stevens, and it just bounced in and out of his hands, or he had another 6.
Yeah, Tony got turned around in that play, and Lyle did a good job of hanging that ball up and hit Tony right in his hands. Didn't have to stretch for it, right in the hands, but had to turn around and almost do a 360 to try to make that catch. I'm telling you, the protection, Scott, was great for Lyle Allen. Had great protection on that play.
Well, Trent Dittmer now comes in to punt. Justin Spivey late to come onto the field as part of the kick team.
Yeah, we got Barrett Knapp's out of the game. I think Spivey's having to go in for Barrett Knapp's.
The snap is low, and it's just going to be a floating kick toward the corner, and it's going to bounce and take a Hurricane dive at the 1-yard line, and that's where Rome's going to take over.
Give Trent Dittmer a lot of credit. As you stated, Scott, a low snap. Dittmer caught the ball, got rid of it quickly, and Tiger Woods couldn't put it down there better than that. Great job of kicking. Good job by Ty Davis to get there, but the ball died right there on the 2-yard line. Nice job, Trent Dittmer. Rome would start here, 1st and 10. I think they actually going to spot it here on the, looks like the 2, Scott, on the Rome 2-yard line.
So Rome backed up deep in their own territory. They'll bring it up to the line. Again, they'll work from the 2. Brian Waters will go under center. Spivey in the backfield out of the wing tee. This time he drops back to pass. Under some pressure, throws it over the top, has a receiver. The ball's in the air, and it's knocked down. Great defensive effort that time by Justin Spivey.
Nice job of recovering by Spivey on that play. Nothing fancy. The wideout for Rome, number 25. Danver Atwater just took off, as you see on the play, and just ran right by Spivey. That could have easily been 6 on that play, but you don't want to lose your cushion and let that wideout get closer than 3 yards. Rome coming out, like most teams will try, throwing to get out of that end zone. But now if you don't make it, of course, now you're 2nd and 10, and you don't want to hand the ball off deep in the backfield now.
Well, Waters will bring it up to the line. Out of the wing tee again, and this time he hands off to Spivey up the middle. He looks for the corner, and he's going to be wrestled down at about the 5-yard line. A gain of 3 on 2nd down brings up 3rd and 7.
And Scott, looks like Barrett Knapp's is going to be out for the rest of this game. I think it's going to be a knee and not an ankle. But this is why late in games, sometimes early in games, you see those substitutions. Number 11, John Jansen, has gotten a lot of playing time the last couple of weeks and even got in there early in the 2nd quarter last week. But now here he is in a big game against Rome in the 1st quarter, but he's got some experience and he's used to playing, so it's not such a drastic change for Cartersville now.
Well, the Wolves will bring it up to the line. Spivey in the backfield. Ragland split out to the left side of the formation as a slot back. This time they send it back in motion. They hand off up the middle to Spivey, and he's hit right in the backfield and dropped for no gain. It brings up 4th down, and now Rome has to make a decision. I think they're going to have to punt. They're going to bring the team in.
Yeah, 42, Lee Harn has just continued to improve and get better and better each week, and you'd like to see that from a senior. Lee Harn worked hard for 4 years and getting his chance this year and making some plays the last couple of weeks for the Cartersville defense.
Rome will be punting out of their end zone. The snap is back and gets his foot underneath it. It is a high floating kick. Spivey will let it bounce and roll out of bounds at the 38-yard line, and that's where Cartersville will take over 1st and 10.
And we've got a late flag.
And now we're going to have a late penalty flag. It looks like it might be against the Canes.
And Scott, Cartersville started 1st and 10 on that last drive on the Rome 36-yard line. Could not advance the football. Give the Rome defense credit for holding Cartersville. As you can see by the signal of the referee, that's going to go against Cartersville, personal foul. And instead of starting 1st and 10 at the Rome 37-yard line, Cartersville is going to be penalized 15 yards. So they're going to be 1st and 10 at the Cartersville 47. Still excellent field position for Cartersville. But you got to take advantage of your field position when you have it. And Cartersville needs to punch it in right here. 1:59 to go in the 1st quarter.
Well, the Hurricanes take over now, as you said, at their own 48-yard line, their worst field position of the night. And they will bring it up to the line. Allen goes under center. He's going to send Stevens in motion, and this time they hand off to Johnson up the middle, who pushes his way back to the original line of scrimmage, brings up 2nd and 10.
Yeah, for row number 54, Carvel Pickett got deep into the Cartersville backfield. Too much penetration. Terrell Johnson got tripped up before he could even get to the line of scrimmage. Cartersville now 2nd down, about 11. He lost about a yard on that play.
Well, the Hurricanes will bring it up to the line. They're going to go wing to the right side of the formation. Out of that offset eye, McClendon in at fullback. Johnson in at tailback, and they throw to the flat. They've got a receiver in Darius White, and he pushes his way into Rome territory at the Rome 44-yard line. A gain of 8, and the Hurricanes face 3rd and short.
Nice pitch and catch that time by Lyle Allen and number 8, Darius White. We're starting to really see Lyle Allen warm up since the last week, going 5 out of 7 against Paulding County. But we also got a glimpse of what Darius White could do with a spectacular catch last week against Paulding County. Cartersville 3rd down, and call it about 3 for a 1st down. Now at the Rome 45.
Well, the Hurricanes will bring it up to the line. 3rd and 3 the call. They'll work out of the eye. They pitch it off to Terrell Johnson, who's looking for the corner, and he's going to be wrestled down. Great play defensively that time by Torian Smith.
And, Scott, I was about to say, as Cartersville lined up, this is going to be a team where you're not going to run a lot of sweeps against. They're too fast, and Torian Smith just showed why he's one of the top linebackers, not in the state of Georgia, but many say in the United States, ranked as high as 2 by most publications. But for a big kid, 6'1", 240 pounds, you saw him run Terrell Johnson down, running east to west easy. This is not a team that you're going to be able to sweep on with a great deal of success.
And that will end the first quarter of play with Cartersville leading it 13-0 on the Century Bank scoreboard. We'll take a quick break and come back. You're watching the high school football game of the week. And welcome back, and we're just about ready to kick this one away, and the chains haven't been moved, so.
Yeah, we got a slight problem with the chains over there.
Well, they got to fix that before we can get going, so.
Scott, Cartersville getting excellent field position on 4 consecutive possessions, but no points on these last 2 possessions, and they started both possessions. Well, the previous possession was on the 36, but this started at the Cartersville 48 and not been able to pick up a 1st down.
So Brian Waters, the quarterback, back deep to receive this punt.
Which means you better cover.
Dittmer will be kicking from his own 42-yard line. He gets the snap, and it is a high floating kick, and Waters is going to field for the fair catch at the 18-yard line, and that's where the Wolves will take over 1st and 10.
We'll see if the Cartersville defense can continue to play well against this Rome offense. So far, Rome not being able to run the football against this Cartersville defense. This is a fast defense, and each year it seems as though the Cartersville defense gets faster and faster each year. As you can see, number 1, Waters coming in with the play, along with number 25, Denver Atwater.
Well, Rome will bring it up to the line. They're going to work with the wing to the right side of the formation, the A-back to the left side. Waters goes under center. He's going to send Ragland in motion, and this time he hands off to Spivey up the middle, who's hit and dropped after no gain, and it'll bring up 2nd and 10.
Rome having a terrible time of trying to run the football in between the tackles against this Cartersville defense. Cartersville really just manhandling the Rome offensive line right now. Where Rome has been successful, if you can call it success, picking up 4 or 5 yards here, is when they've been able to get to the corner against the Cartersville defense. They do have skill folks that can run, but running in between the tackles is going to be tough tonight.
You get a look at the night air here. We're almost near October, still almost 90 degrees every day. Waters goes under center. This time he's going to keep it himself, ducks through a couple would-be tacklers, and then takes a pretty good shot back at the 17-yard line. Might have lost a yard on the play, and it's going to bring up 3rd and long.
Yeah, I think Kenneth Thomas had a chance to make the tackle, but number 4 for Cartersville, the middle linebacker, Chris Cochran, coming in to clean Waters up and make the tackle behind the line of scrimmage for a loss. And now Rome, 3rd and almost 12 for a first down again. And this is a situation where the Cartersville defense has had a lot of success when teams have to put the ball in the air.
Well, Rome will bring it up to the line. They face 3rd and 12. Again, they're going to work out of the wing tee. They send Ragland in motion, and this time Waters drops back, has some time, throws to this flat, has a receiver, and it's incomplete. That time intended for Denver Atwater, and it's going to bring up 4th down, and the Wolves will have to punt.
And it looked as if Atwater may have been open if Waters could have delivered an accurate pass, but when you're dropping back the pass and you're getting hit every play, it begins to take its toll after a while, and Waters was not accurate on that play, not even close.
Well, one thing, Waters is going to have to win this game by throwing the football because the Canes defense has established the fact that you're not going to be able to run between the tackles. This punt is down, and now the pressure is falling on him. A deep kick will be fielded by Spivey at the 31. Breaks a couple would-be tacklers, gets outside, and now he's going to be wrestled down at the 30, and that's where the Hurricanes will take over 1st and 10.
And, Scott, that was a bomb on the punt that time by Rome's number 10, Corey Thacker. That ball, I'm not sure what it was. Scott, where did he kick that from? From the 17-yard line all the way to the Cartersville 30.
53 yards.
Yeah, I mean,
a net punt of 53 yards.
That was a rocket.
Remember, he was also 12 yards back when he got the snap. That ball was in the air for a while. Well, the Hurricanes will bring it up to the line. They're going to go twins to the right side of the formation. Tremble and Darius White split out wide to the right side. Allen goes to the sidelines to get the play. 10:07 to play here, 2nd quarter rather. Out of the wing tee, and this time they're going to hand off to McClendon. He tries to bust up the middle and gets nowhere. It'll bring up 2nd and 10.
Yeah, as you can see, both teams having trouble running the football. The philosophies are going to be similar. You got to stop the run and force Cartersville to beat you throwing the football. And, of course, if Lyle Allen throws the ball the way he has early on in this game, the way he threw the football last week, I like Cartersville's chances. If we can protect him, we can throw the football against this Rome secondary.
Well, the Hurricanes will bring it up to the line. They're going to work out of the shotgun this time as Allen stays with one back in the backfield. Terrell Johnson split to the near side, and they throw it into the flat to McClendon, and he gets tripped up in the backfield. The grass came up and got him, and it's going to bring up 3rd and 10.
Yeah, and that's what you want. You got Chris McClendon one-on-one with a defensive back, and you take that all day long. But as Chris began to make his cut, lost his footing there at the 30-yard line, and now Cartersville will go 3rd and 10. And it's been 3 and out for Cartersville on 2 successive possessions here.
Well, the Hurricanes will bring it up to the line. Tony Stevens will come in as the Z-back on the right side of the formation. One back in the backfield is McClendon. Allen will come out of the shotgun. Rome shows blitz. He drops back, throws it over the top, has a receiver in Tremble. Ball is in the air and incomplete. It's going to bring up 4th and 10, and the Hurricanes are going to be forced to punt at the 8:39 mark here in the 2nd quarter.
Yeah, and that was a nice job by Jeremy Tremble to make the adjustment on that ball. That ball looked as if it was going to be intercepted by the Rome defensive back, but as you can see on the replay, Tremble stopping and going up in the air and able to knock that ball down and prevent number 6 Ragland from intercepting that football. Nice job, Jeremy Tremble. Scott, I think we got Trent Dittmer is a little close punting this football. I think he needs to be back about another yard, but his last punt, he was only 10 yards deep. I think you'd like to see him get at least 12 yards deep.
He gets the snap, gets it off. It is a high floating kick. Waters has to go back to his own 25, and he breaks away from one would-be tackler, gets to the corner, and the Hurricanes bring him down at the 25-yard line.
And that's great coverage right there by the Cartersville defense. Nice tackle by number 4 on that play, Chris Cochran. Chris McClendon also number 1. But, again, that was a bomb that time by Trent Dittmer. What a punt by Trent Dittmer on that play, kicking from the Cartersville 26-yard line all the way down to the Rome 26-yard line. But field position is going to be critical here. Rome, early in this game, has not had field position. Cartersville's had field position on 4 consecutive possessions, and Rome starting here on their own 26.
Well, this time Rome out of the wing tee, and they hand off around the right end looking for the corner. And again, running the football, looks like Spivey that time around the right end, and he'll get maybe 2 or 3 on the carry. It'll bring up 2nd and long.
Yeah, Spivey running the football hard on that play. Nice tackle by John Jansen, but because of just sheer determination, Spivey was able to pick up 3 yards on his own.
Well, the clock continues to run as we go under 8 minutes to play here in the first half. Waters comes from the sidelines with the play, and Rome will bring it up to the line, working from their own 29-yard line. 2nd and 7 the call as you get a good look at Waters and the rest of the offense right there. Waters goes under center. This time he's going to send it back in motion, and they hand off up the middle again. And once again, the Hurricane defense closes quickly and stops Otis Spivey.
Scott, there's nothing like being an offensive coordinator. You look through your playbook, and everything you run has gone for a total of about -6 yards. And Rome that time running the option and giving to the fullback on the midline, but nothing is working in between the tackles. And even off tackle, they're starting to struggle now running the football against this Cartersville defense.
Oh, Rome will bring it up to the line. 3rd and long the call. They will step in. Out of the wing tee, Spivey in at fullback. They're going to send it back in motion. This time, Waters drops back. Under play action, throws over the middle of the field. Ball is knocked down and incomplete. Trent Dittmer with a great play defensively that time, intended for Jermaine Woodard, and it brings up 4th down.
Yeah, Waters making a dangerous pass, rolling to the left and throwing back into the center of the field. And I tell you, number 6, Trent Dittmer, has really impressed Scott over the last couple of weeks as a defensive back. Has continued to improve each week. Made a couple of interceptions last few weeks, but each week you can just see his confidence starting to grow.
Spivey and Terrell Johnson back deep to receive. The snap is back. A high floating kick will be fielded by Terrell Johnson at the 35. Makes one man miss, now tries to get to the corner, gets outside, catches a block across the midfield stripe, and he's going to be wrestled down at the Rome 46-yard line, and the Hurricanes will start with excellent field position.
Terrell Johnson, number 21 prime time, just making something out of nothing. Had one man to beat, number 9, Torrance Smith, coming up on the corner, and that's who Chris Cochran had to block. Smith coming, about 240 pounds, Scott, running right at Chris Cochran, running about a 4.5 40, and Cochran did the best he could to try to stay up and slow him down, but Smith is a hoss.
Well, the Hurricanes will bring it up to the line. They're going to work out of the wing tee. Twins to the right side of the formation. That's White and Tremble. Allen now comes from the sidelines. They're going to change it up at the line, and he goes back under center. This time he's going to send Morgan Alexander in motion, and they hand off up the middle to the fullback McClendon, who pushes his way across the 45-yard line. Might have gotten a yard on the play. Brings up 2nd and long.
Yeah, they try to hit McClendon again with the fullback trap, but number 77, Kennebrew, going about 300 pounds, as you can see in the huddle.
Look at the size of this defensive line.
It's tough to trap one that big, but I think he made the play from the backside just closing. But he is a big, big boy. 6 foot, 300 pound senior.
Well, the Hurricanes will bring it up to the line. Again, they're going to work out of the wing tee. Again, Chris McClendon in at fullback. Darius White split out to the bottom of your screen. And a little bit of movement underneath. That's going to cost the Canes 5. Everybody went but the ball that time.
Yeah, and Cartersville really totally out of sync now after the first couple of possessions. Hitting Rome quickly with 2 touchdowns, but beginning to get out of sync now. Cartersville going to have to throw the football some to win this football game.
Coach Barden obviously not happy with that call. It'll back the Canes up 5 and brings up 2nd and 15.
Yes, Scott, what may have happened, sometimes you hear linebackers and defensive linemen making calls, and if you're making calls, saying things, you can cause the offensive line to jump offside.
Well, the Canes will bring it up to the line. Again, they're going to work out of the wing tee. Again, Allen checks out, comes back, looks at the sideline, changes things up, and now goes back under center. This time Allen drops back, throws to the flat, has a receiver in White, and it's incomplete. Brings up 3rd and 15.
Yeah, that ball thrown a little behind White, but you got to catch that ball. That's not a bad pass. That's something that you got to handle. In big games like this, you got to have guys step up and make plays, and Darius has got to catch that one. Third down and 15 for Cartersville, and Cartersville, Scott, has not been able to move the football since the second possession.
Well, the Hurricanes will bring it up to the line. They will work out of the wing tee. This time, Allen goes under center. He drops back to pass. Has a little bit of time. Throws it over the top. Has a receiver in white. And it's going to be incomplete down at the 15-yard line.
Yeah, and that's a good pass by Lyle Allen. Just missed Darius White right off his fingertips. But that's a good pass. Number 3 for Rome coming over the top. Jermaine Woodward to defend and help on that play. As you see Allen with the pass just over the outstretched fingertips of Darius White. Nice pass by Lyle Allen.
Coming right into your living room on that pass play. Allen gets back to punt, or Dittmer rather gets back to punt. Gets the snap, an end-over-end kick, and it will bounce inside the 5 and roll into the end zone for the touchback, and Rome will take over at the 20 with 5:43 to play here in the first half. Cartersville leading at 13-0 on the Century Bank scoreboard, and you couldn't ask for a more exciting half of football than what we've seen.
Yeah, and Cartersville still winning the field position game right here because that's all we've had lately is punt exchanges right here with Rome, not being able to pick up a first down. I think they've had, Scott, if I'm not mistaken, 1 first down
back in
this first half. Yeah, and that's been it for the Rome offense.
The last 3 possessions, Rome is going 3 and out. And so Rome brings it up to the line. They will work out of the wing tee again as Waters goes under center. He's going to send it back in motion, and this time he hands off right up the middle as he pushes his way across the 25-yard line. Spivey, the ball carrier, picks up 5 on first down. It brings up 2nd and 5, and that's one of the first fullback traps that has gone for any yardage tonight for the Rome Wolves.
Otis Spivey, number 32, picking up 5 yards, and that's been the best play that Rome has had probably in their last 12 to 13 plays. Nothing in between the tackles against the Cartersville defense, but picking up 5 yards on that play.
Well, Rome brings it up to the line. 2nd and 5 the call. The Wolves go under center here. Waters drops back, throws to the flat, has a receiver, and the ball is tipped and incomplete. So it brings up 3rd and 5 now.
Yeah, and that's a great play by number 5, Justin Spivey. Also a good play by number 11, John Jansen, getting his hands up and tipping that pass. You like to see that because you got a chance to get an interception on that play, but Spivey doing a good job of breaking that pass up. And, of course, Spivey, Scott, there's nothing more that he would like than getting a victory tonight, as you said, against Rome, against some of, his ex-teammates and probably relatives on that other team.
Rome brings it up to the line. Again, they'll work out of the wing tee. 5 minutes to play here in the first half, and this time Waters runs to the corner, and he's going to get hit and drop after a gain of maybe 2 on the play. And it's going to bring up 4th down. It looks like the Wolves are going to be forced to punt.
Yeah, and that's the way you draw it up. That's how you defend the option right there. Number 4, the middle linebacker for Cartersville, Chris Cochran, coming inside out. They were able to get Waters to turn it back inside, and when he did, number 4, Chris Cochran delivering the boom on the quarterback Waters. Again, Rome going 3 and out against this Cartersville defense.
So Corey Thacker now comes in to kick this one away. He'll be standing just inside his own 15-yard line. He gets the snap, gets it underway. It is a high floating kick. Spivey has to go back to his own 22 to pick it up. Tries to spin around one would-be tackler, dances around, pushes outside, and is going to be brought down at the 23. So a return of 1 on the play. And Spivey really with nowhere to go. And unfortunately, he's not going to be able to dance with the speed that Rome possesses. It's going to be hard to return one when they're right in your face. And punter Thacker doing a good job of giving his coverage team some nice hang time.
Yeah, Thacker punting that football again about 50 yards again with great hang time. Of course, he's gotten a lot of practice tonight, and he's starting to get good at this guy.
Well, the Hurricanes will take over at their own 23-yard line. They bring it up to the line. Darius White spread to the bottom of your screen. This time, Allen goes under center. Now he's going to, again, move out. Changes the play at the line. Calls the audible. And this time they send Johnson in motion. They pitch it out to him around the right end. Johnson looking for the corner, steps inside, stays on his feet, pushes his way across the 30, out to the 34-yard line, a gain of 11 on first down, and the Hurricanes will move the sticks.
Yeah, nice job of running. Good job by the Cartersville line and backs of blocking and sealing the corner, and Terrell Johnson picking his way, getting 11 yards for a first down. But it's been tough going. Nothing easy since the first two possessions for the Cartersville offense. They've really hit Rome for two big plays, Scott, and other than those two big plays, it's been tough to move the football against Rome.
Those are the first yards for Terrell Johnson tonight. His first carry went for nothing. So the Hurricanes will bring it up to the line. Again, they'll work out of that wing tee. McClendon in at fullback as Allen goes under center, and this time he pitches it out to McClendon around the left end. He's looking for the corner, steps across the 40, stays on his feet, reverses his field, has one man to beat outside, high steps at midfield, catches a block, and he is gone. An armed escort to the end zone, and the Hurricanes have tacked on another 6. They lead this one 19-0 at the 3:33 mark here in the first half. What an effort offensively for the purple and gold.
There goes McClendon. Scott, number 9, Torrin Smith, the stud linebacker, got an arm on Chris McClendon and tried to bring him down. Against most backs, that would be enough. But 190-pound, 4.4 speed Chris McClendon, an arm tackle won't get it. McClendon takes it to the house with Cartersville. A
66-yard touchdown run for McClendon, and now Trent Dittmer will come in to attempt the extra point.
And I think Cartersville's short one man. I don't know if they got them all out there. They got them. Yeah, they got 11. They were going to send Morgan Alexander out there, but they got all 11 out there.
Well, Dittmer will come in to attempt the extra point. The snap is down, the kick is up and on the way, and it's good. The Canes lead it 20-0 at the 3:33 mark here in the first half. We'll take a quick break and come back. You're watching the High School Football Game of the Week. And welcome back. You're watching the High School Football Game of the Week. 3:33 to play here in the first half. The Hurricanes lead it 20-0 on the Century Bank scoreboard. And this time an end-over-end kick down the left sideline will be fielded inside the 10. He brings it across the 20, still on his feet at the 25, and wrestled down at the 26-yard line. The return man that time for Rome was number 6, Ty Ragland. And now Rome takes over at the 3:27 mark.
Yeah, number 19, Brian Long, and 17, Morgan Alexander, freshman again, going downfield on the kickoff team, making the tackle on that kickoff of Cartersville. 3:27 to go here, Scott, in the second quarter, remaining here in the second quarter. Cartersville up 20-0 over Rome, and you could not have predicted that in this first half.
What an unbelievable start. So Rome brings it up to the line. They're going to work out of the wing tee. They're going to send a back in motion, and this time they drop back and they hand off around the left end, and he's caught and dropped in the backfield. The ball carrier, Jermaine Woodard, loses about 6 on the play, and it's going to bring up second and long.
Yeah, Scott, and this is not some chump football team that Cartersville's playing. As you can see, Darius Benham coming here making the play. Rome High School is a very athletic football team, which shows you the caliber of players and the athletes that Cartersville has. When you see a Chris McClendon busting one for 67 yards and the plays that they're making, this is a good football team.
Second and a long 16, and this time Waters is going to run it up the middle, gets out to the corner, has a man to beat, and now he uses his speed to get outside, and he's going to be wrestled out of bounds at the Cartersville 46-yard line, and he ran that little midline option down the front of the line, and you saw the speed in the open field. That's a play that he scored on last year. Look at him right in the middle of the defense right here, and he just bounces outside, and one of the better athletes in the state, and boy, he just gets to the corner.
Yeah, and the guy that's got to make that tackle is number 4, Chris McClendon, the middle linebacker. Chris got caught up inside, did not really know where that football was, and then, of course, Waters there to break outside, and if you're a cornerback, you can't lose containment and let the quarterback get outside, but Rome picking up a big play, but that's what athletes can do to you.
A nice pickup that time for Waters, and this time he's going to hand off around the left end to Woodard, who's looking for the corner, and he's going to be hit and dropped. After a short gain, he falls forward. The ball's loose, and the Hurricanes say they have it.
Oh, Scott, he's saying second down. They're going to spot it down. I'm not sure he was down, Scott, but they're going to spot it down and call it second down. But Cartersville defense just running to the football, making hits that time on Woodard, the running back.
Hard to tell if it was out or not. We'll take a look at it on the replay right here. And again, the ball still has it in his hands. And
that was a fumble.
That was a fumble.
That was a fumble.
Ball's out before he hits the ground. So Rome will bring it up to the line. They get away with one there. Second and a short 8 to call. They bring it up to the line, and this time they hand off up the middle. And again, the Hurricanes crush the middle of the line, and he gains maybe 2 on the play, brings up 3rd and 5. Spivey the ball carrier that time.
Of course, the referees don't have the luxury that we do of instant replay, but that ball came out, as we could see before Woodard went down. He did fumble that football. Cartersville now facing a big 3rd down here, 3rd down and 5, and Cartersville needs a hole here with 1 minute 19 seconds and the clock ticking here in the second quarter. Cartersville up 20-0 against Rome.
20-0 your score as the Wolves bring it up to the line. Again, they'll work out of the wing tee. This time they're going to send Woodard in motion, and they drop back to pass. Waters has some time, under some pressure now. He rolls out and tries to get to the corner. The Hurricanes will come out and meet him, and he's wrestled out of bounds at the Hurricane 37-yard line, and he's going to be about 1.5 yards, 2 yards short of the first down. It brings up 4th down for the Wolves.
Yeah, Waters was looking for his back in the flats, trying to throw it quick, but he was not open. And against most people, he would be able to scramble and pick up that first down. But Cartersville, with so much speed on defense, a little linebacker, number 4, Chris Cochran, able to run him down for a 3-yard gain, and it's going to be 4th down and 2 for Rome. First down on the Cartersville 37-yard line.
57 seconds to play here in the first half on the Century Bank scoreboard. The Rome Wolves bring it up to the line. They'll run out of the wing tee. The Canes load the line of scrimmage defensively. This time Waters is now going to change things up at the line, and he calls for the timeout. Wants to talk things over. Maybe Rome was just running a freeze play, and they may punt this one deep. Let's take a look again at that replay of the fumble and see what happened. Again,
Scott, as you can see, Waters there struggling with the ball. Number 44, Zuri Murphy. And here comes a hit, and there's the ball coming out right there. As you can see it coming out of the elbow, coming down to the ground. While Waters was still up, that knee had not touched the ground.
And unfortunately, the refs don't have the luxury that we have. So with 57 seconds to play here in the first half, we'll take a quick break and come back. You're watching the high school football game of the week. And welcome back. We're back from the break. 57 seconds to play here in the first half. 4th and 2 the call. Waters goes under center. This time he's going to send it back in motion. He hands off right up the middle, and Spivey pushes his way forward. I do not believe he got it. The Hurricanes are saying they've taken this ball over on downs, and they have. The Hurricane faithful on their feet here with 51 seconds to play here in the first half.
Great job by the Cartersville defense. Of course, I'm up in the press box up here watching, Scott, but I do second-guess that play. The biggest play you've gotten all night has been by your quarterback on the option. I thought for sure that Rome would fake the midline dive and Waters keep that football or roll out on the edge or something and try to pick it up with his legs, but running in between the tackles is not where you're going to get a first down tonight against the Cartersville defense.
Well, the Hurricanes will bring it up to the line. It looks like they are going to take a knee here to end the first half. 51 seconds to play here in the first half. Cartersville with a commanding 20-0 lead here in week 5 of the 2005 fall, and what an effort it has been here in the first half for the purple and gold.
Of course, you know, there are a lot of people here with Carrollton being off this week. You know, the Carrollton coaching staff is here, and as a coach, you know, what you hate to see, particularly if you're Rome or Cartersville, you got your opponent scouting you, trying to see how are you going to defense one another.
And now the Hurricanes bring it up to the line. It looks like they will take a quick knee here and end the first half. And that will be the final play of the first half. Again, you've been watching the high school football game of the week. Take a look at some final numbers here in the first half. Brian Waters of Rome, just 1 of 6 passing tonight for 12 yards and an INT. Otis Spivey, 8 carries for 15 yards. Ty Ragland, 4 carries, 5 yards, and it has been a long start here for the Rome Wolves. On the other side of the football, Lyle Allen, 2 of 8 passing, 50 yards and a touchdown. Chris McClendon, 5 carries, 101 yards and 2 scores. And Tony Stevens, 1 reception for 48 yards. Terrell Johnson, two carries, 11 yards, and you see Cartersville has just dominated this one from the get-go. They're in full control of this game so far, but obviously we have a second half of football to play. In the meantime, we'll take a quick break. Again, you're watching the high school football game of the week, and when we return, we'll have the pride of the city of Cartersville with the United Community Bank halftime show. We'll be right back after this.
It's pretty awesome. Like, there were people standing there to get in and screams and stuff. David told me I can't tell you. It's halftime. I can tell you that. It's halftime. What's the, you guess scores and I'll tell you if you're close. Nope. 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 There's I can't Sterling Marlin down there. I can't believe you started with us being down, man. Okay, we'll keep going. Nope, but that's very, very, very close. Nope, that's further away. Nope. What'd you say? 27 is wrong. You're very close. Nope. It's 20-0 Cartersville. Yeah. They've been playing amazing all night long. Our first play from scrimmage was a pass for about 50, 60 yards touchdown. You're saying like it's in your answer. It was awesome. Yeah, they totally showed out. It should be about 28. I'll put my eyeball in. But we missed a field goal, and then we didn't get a touchdown. We should have got it. Rome has had 2 shutouts in a row right before this. They look all right, but we're amazing. Oh, and we did lose one of our best defensive backs, though. ACL. There now. First play of the game. He tore his other one last year. That's a great game. Really? They're playing Florida. I don't know because Smoltz skipped a pitch, so I don't know who he pitches tomorrow night. They're going to lose the playoffs. They could lose the division. They better hope Philadelphia and Florida beat up on each other. Are we open? I didn't even say it. You were gonna. Hey, why they wasn't a good idea. Understand blockers. Yeah, I guess. Well, I should have made a trunk. When you're standing up with the all purple in the middle. Is there any pizza? Still? Pizza. I told you. I might just die tonight. Whatever you did. Look. This guy? I am slim and trim, babe. I've worked out 3 times this week.
I worked out 3 times this week too, but I still put on 5 pounds.
Welcome to work, sitting on your butt working all day. But I'll rub your shoulder. Back in the day, they quit doing this because they kept burning steel. Probably don't throw them off. The light came back again. Give me one on fire. Let's stand up for the game!
And welcome back. You're watching the high school football game of the week as you just saw the United Community Bank halftime show and a great performance by the pride of the city of Cartersville, the Hurricane Marching Band. And now it's time to take a quick look at the scoring from the first half of play. Cartersville on the board early. A 48-yard touchdown pass from Lyle Allen to Tony Stevens on the first offensive play of the game for the purple and gold. They go 48 yards in for the score, and just like that, a 6-0 lead with the missed PAT. At the 7:27 mark, the Hurricanes did it again. This time Chris McClendon on the fullback draw up the middle goes 31 yards in for the score with the point after by Trent Dittmer. The Hurricanes lead it 13-0. And then in the second quarter, Chris McClendon breaks another one, this time 66 yards as he rolls through the Rome defense, going every which way he could, and broke it out for 66 yards as he goes untouched into the end zone for the score, and the Hurricanes led it 20-0, and that is your score at the half as Cartersville had everything going for them in the first half, but you've got to be careful because Rome has such explosive speed on the offensive side of the ball.
Scott, you're right. Just as easy as Cartersville was able to put 20 points up that first half with the athletes that Rome has, Rome can easily come back and, you know, it could be one big play, another big play, and next thing you know, you're down one score. So this is not the time for the Cartersville football team to relax because this is a still dangerous Rome football team.
And you're absolutely right. We take a look at some of the numbers. You know, a lot of these Rome offensive numbers, not what you would expect. Brian Waters, only 1 for 6 passing, an INT and 12 yards. He does have 25 yards on the ground, but all of that really in one run. Otis Spivey, 8 carries, 15 yards. Cartersville has really shut them down defensively so far tonight, and hopefully they can continue that here in the second half.
Yeah, this second half and this opening drive, Cartersville's going to get the football. Field position has been critical, Scott, this first half. Cartersville enjoyed great field position most of the half. Rome's going to get an opportunity to start the second half on defense and see if they can change this field position that Cartersville has enjoyed the first half.
No, you're absolutely right. We're about ready to get started with the second half, and we're going to go down to the field with head coach Frank Barton and our own John Nelson. John, what do you have for us?
Thanks, Scott, here with the coach. They honored the girls tennis team here at the half, and you're doing a good job of getting things done so far. 20 points on the board, getting the most of them over the top.
Well, it has been. It's a good half, and, right now we got to start second half and seal the deal.
With Sid, you knew what you were getting into coming in with Rome coming in here. It's going to be a stout team coming in.
Yeah, they're a good football team, and they're going to be a good football team this half, too.
Thanks for your time. Let's send it back upstairs to Scott.
Thanks a lot, John. And there you have our own John Nelson joining us from Georgia Public Television tonight, helping out with a little sideline camera work and some sideline reporting tonight, and doing a great job for us. And now the captain's meeting at the midfield stripe as we get ready for the second half of play.
Yeah, and as John mentioned at halftime, the Cartersville girls tennis team, Scott, were presented with their state championship rings, the first public school to win a state championship in tennis in 10 years other than private school.
And that is a huge accomplishment, because when they made it to Macon, you figured up they're going to be playing Westminster. That's the end of it. And I think I was surprised. I think the rest of the city was surprised when they walked away with rings.
Talking, they blew them away. I mean, it wasn't even close, and that was the thing that really stunned everybody, is the ease in which this team went through the field in the AAA tennis tournament. And they've got all these girls that are coming back. We're talking girls that were second singles that were playing first and second team doubles the next year. So this team from top to bottom is loaded, and I think all but one are coming back next year. So they have a chance to repeat this year.
And it's nice to see that Cartersville has really been the only public school to really compete at the state level for the Directors' Cup. And the reason they've done it is because they've been able to win at sports like golf and tennis and get points in cross country and points in track and baseball. And it just shows you how diverse the athletic department is.
Exactly. And, give Coach Bard and Coach Ennis, Assistant Athletic Director, a lot of credit for the job that they do. And congratulations to Coach Ruff, because it's been a long time coming. She's had year after year after year where she's been defeated in the semifinals by Westminster and other private schools, and finally Cartersville was able to pull it off.
Well, Coach, Cartersville is going to get the football to start the second half. One thing we forgot to tell you about is that they deferred the opening kickoff, put the defense on the field first, and now the offense gets a crack at it. Cartersville back deep to receive. And Chris McClendon will be back deep to receive, and that ball goes into the end zone, but a penalty flag has come out on the kick.
Yeah, number 11, David Gifford for Rome. Scott, that ball's kicked 70 yards, about 68, right at the back of the end line. I'm not sure who was offside. May have been Cartersville on that play. If so, Rome is going to decline, and Cartersville will start 1st and 10 on their own 20. But I think that flag is going to go against Cartersville. If they wanted to, Rome could take the penalty and kick it from the 45 and see if Guilford could kick it through the upright the next time.
Looks like we've...
Surely not going to kick it again.
They're going to decline the penalty, and you can't really get a better result than what you just had.
I was impressed the first time.
I was impressed when he kicked it from the 40. He doesn't need to kick it from the 45 to show me anymore.
The only thing I can guess, Scott, is that they're going to try to onside kick, or maybe they can't decline. I'm not sure. Maybe they're going to be forced to kick it again. I'm not sure what this call is.
Nope, looks like they are going to kick it again. So the Cartersville return team comes back to the sidelines with head coach Frank Barton. Zori Murphy, you get a good look at him right there. And boy, he has been a fantastic addition to this team this year. Only a sophomore, really stepping up his play. And just shows you how many young guys in the program right now that are making things happen.
Yeah, we've said that time and time again, particularly with the skill players, the freshmen and the sophomores. But you've got John Johnson and you got Zori Murphy, sophomores, Brian Long, all these kids. Not only in the backfield are you seeing the Morgan Alexanders and Tony Stevens, you're seeing these guys all across the football field on the offensive line and defensive front.
So back deep to receive now for the purple and gold is Chris McClendon.
And Scott, he better back up under the upright if he wants to return this one.
And they'll put it down, and getting ready to kick this one away is David Guilford, and it'll be another booming kick. This time he kicks it out of the end zone. And same result, Cartersville takes over on the 20-yard line.
Yeah, I'm trying to see what year Gifford is. Georgia Tech needs somebody to kick off in the end zone. He's a junior. I'll have to give my boys a call about Gifford.
Well, Cartersville, again, as we said, takes over at their own 20-yard line. No time off the clock as there was no return on that play, and the Hurricanes will bring it up to the line. Cartersville will bring it up to the line out of the wing tee. Lyle Allen goes under center. McClendon in the backfield. Terrell Johnson in at the A-back. The Z-back for the Canes is Tony Stevens. Rome moves around defensively. And we got a penalty flag on the field. Looks like Rome jumped around defensively, and it made the Hurricanes jump off sides.
Yeah, that's going to go, Scott, though, against Joseph Gilbert, number 75. The left tackle for Cartersville, who was a little upset at himself for not staying in there with that snap count and stepping outside. But these are the drive killers. When you start 1st and 15, it's tough when it's 1st and 10, but 1st and 15 makes it extremely tough to pick up the first down.
All right, the Hurricanes will bring it up to the line. We're going to work out of the wing tee. This time they're going to send Johnson in motion, and they give it to him around the right end. He's hit and dropped for no gain and stays on his feet to get back to the original line of scrimmage. And we're going to go down to the sidelines with John Nelson. He's got an injury update for us.
Scott, have your injury report for you on Barrett Knaps, who was injured first series of the game against Rome. Talked to him, and he said the knee isn't bothering him. They did the test. They think, emphasize the word think, that it might be his ACL. He did his MCL injury a couple of years ago. He hopes it's only the MCL, but they think it's the ACL. Back upstairs.
Thanks a lot, John. And there you have the injury update. And Cartersville now with the football. They will bring it up to the line. 2nd and 15 to call. This time they're going to send it back in motion. That's Stevens. They hand off underneath to Johnson, who gets hit. The ball gets loose, and Lyle Allen doing a nice job of falling on the football. Bring up 3rd and long.
And Scott, this is what we talked about. You don't want to relax if you're the Cartersville football team, because Rome, with those skilled athletes, as you see Barrett Knaps there on the sideline with the knee injury, and hopefully that's just a sprain for Barrett. But Cartersville getting off to a rocky start here the second half and losing field position on every play here.
And Barrett Knaps has been a big part of this football team. I did his highlight film last night. Let me tell you, he's been in a lot of plays this year. Hurricanes with a football. They send Stevens in motion. They drop back to pass. Allen has time, throws it over the top, has a receiver in Johnson. It's caught up at the midfield stripe, and he's across the 40, still on his feet, down to the Rome 29-yard line, and the Hurricanes will move the sticks with 10:27 to go here in the 3rd quarter.
Scott, you're just not supposed to be able to do that. 3rd down, 17, backed up on your own 13-yard line. Lyle Allen, as you see on the replay, comes out gunning and throws again. And we've said it so many times over the last couple of years. Another perfect pass by Lyle Allen. Hit number 21, Terrell Johnson, in stride. Cartersville going from their own 13-yard line now on the Rome 28-yard line.
Second reception of the day for Terrell Johnson. This one goes 58 yards, and this time Terrell runs it again, this time inside the 20 down to the 18-yard line. A gain of 11 on 1st down, and the Hurricanes will move the sticks again.
And, Scott, from the pass play to this next play, the running play, I saw the Rome defense bend just a little. You didn't see the swagger that they had on the first 3 initial plays on this drive. That play may have been a backbreaker for the Cartersville football team. This might have been the one that Rome may not be able to recover from.
They bring Morgan Alexander in to run as the tailback. McClendon moves to the fullback. They bring the tight end to the right side of the formation. Out of the eye, they hand off to McClendon up the middle, who pushes his way across the 15 down to the 14-yard line. A gain of 5 on first down. And the Hurricanes face 2nd and 5 as we near the 10-minute mark here in the third quarter.
Yeah, they're running a little belly play with Chris McClendon, as you can see on the replay. Good job of blocking by the Cartersville offensive line. As you see, number 70 for Cartersville, Andrew Young, moving those feet, pumping those feet. And you can't say enough about number 1, Chris McClendon, and the job that he has done this year for the Cartersville offense.
Well, the Hurricanes run out of that offset eye. This time they pitch it out to Alexander, who's looking for the corner. He's ups out at the 10, steps in at the 5, and dances into the end zone for the touchdown, and the Hurricanes are on the board. And Mr. Speed does it again. Probably played in the freshman game again this week and turns around and makes up for it again. He scores at his 4th game of the year.
There he is again. And, Scott, you can't run the sweep against this Rome defense. Number 1, Chris McClendon getting just enough of number 9, Torrance Smith. How fast is Morgan Alexander? Untouched into the end zone, showing the sweetness right there in the back of the end zone with the stride.
A 17-yard touchdown run, and then the Hurricanes come on to attempt the extra point. Dittmer is good, and the Canes lead it 27-0 on the Century Bank scoreboard. We'll take a quick break and come back. You're watching the high school football game of the week. And welcome back. 9:34 to go here on the Century Bank scoreboard in the third quarter. Canes up 27-0 as Dittmer puts it down on the 40-yard line. And this one, an end-over-end floating kick, will be fielded at the 15-yard line. He's across the 20, still on his feet outside, looking for the corner, and he's going to be knocked out of bounds at the 46-yard line. The return man that time was Ty Ragland, and Rome starts with pretty good field position.
Yeah, Cartersville went with the pooch kick on that play, and of course, that's not one of my favorite kicks, but I like lining them up. Like I said, I'd like to line up 20 yards deep and sprint if we can, but just kick it deep and let them sprint downfield.
Here's a look at that touchdown run by Morgan Alexander. He has now scored in 4 of 5 games this year as a freshman. And, boy, he possesses that blazing speed when he gets to the corner. Rome out of the wing tee. They're going to send it back in motion. Waters drops back under play action, has a little bit of time. Now steps up, throws over the middle of the field, has a receiver in Torian Smith. He's across the 30 down to the Cartersville 24-yard line, and Rome moves the sticks. A nice pickup that time of 31 yards on the pitch and catch.
Yeah, and that's the capabilities that this Rome offense have. With the skilled players that they have, they're capable of popping a big one. And there's Smith, middle linebacker, also plays tight end for this Rome football team, catching the pass, rumbling down the sideline. Number 6 and Dittmer and 21 Terrell Johnson making the tackle.
Rome brings it up to the line. This time they run with one back in the backfield. They sweep around the right end, and a great play defensively that time. The ball carrier again, Ty Ragland.
And Scott, 23, Ty Davis taking out the guard for Rome, Brandon Williams, and really just stopped that play in the backfield by himself. Took out the guard and made the tackle. Good job by 23, Ty Davis, a little cornerback coming up, taking on the guard. Second down and 9 now for Rome for a first down. 2nd
and 9 the call. 8:35 to play here in the third quarter. The Wolves will bring it up to the line. Waters goes under center. One back in the backfield. That's Otis Spivey out of the wing tee. They're going to send Ragland in motion, and this time they hand off right up the middle. Carrying the football again and on the corner, and dropped down was Jermaine Woodard, the ball carrier. And he gets dropped for a loss. It brings up 3rd and long now for the Wolves.
Yeah, Woodard tried to get outside, but not enough speed to escape that Cartersville secondary and the linebacker. And number 5, Justin Spivey, just blew him up on the corner. Nice tackle by Justin Spivey. A loss of about 4 yards on that play for Rome. 7:55 to go here in this third quarter, but Cartersville on top of Rome 27-0.
7:48 to play here in the third quarter. The Wolves will bring it up to the line. Waters goes under center, out of the wing tee. He's going to send a back in motion, and this time Waters rolls out, has some time, and here come the Canes. He throws to the flat, sets up the screen to Spivey. He's across the 20, still on his feet, down to the 15-yard line, and he may have the first down, depending on where the spot is. It's going to be very near the first down markers on 3rd and long. A nice play that time offensively for the Wolves.
Yeah, that screen pass was set up very nicely by the Rome offense. Nice call by the Rome football coach. They're going to measure right here, Scott, but number 6, Trent Dittmer, as you can see on the replay, made a saving tackle, prevented a touchdown on that play, but that play was set up nicely by Rome, trying to counteract this blitzing Cartersville front. They're bringing bare minimum 7 guys each play.
They're going to bring the sticks out to measure this one.
Of course, from the angle we have, it's just tough to tell whether he has a first down or not.
I think he's got it. He does. So he had it by the length of a football there, and now with 7:21 to play here in the 3rd, Rome is knocking on the door.
I'm blaming that on a bad spot.
Their 2nd first down of this drive, and they hadn't had another first down since their 3rd drive of the game.
Yeah, they only had 2 first downs the first half, and now the Rome offense starting to move the football against the Cartersville defense.
Rome brings it up to the line. They'll work from the Hurricane 13-yard line. The clock continues to run, 7 minutes to go. You see Coach Chester barking out the defense. This time they're going to send a back in motion. That's Woodard, and this time they run right up the middle. And Torian Smith down to about the 11-yard line, a gain of 2 on first down.
Yeah,
and
Torian Smith everywhere,
You're
Scott.
seeing him on the offensive side of the ball now.
Torian Smith at tight end, Torian Smith at fullback. Torian Smith also playing the middle linebacker. But you can see that Rome's coming out the second half. These kids haven't quit. They're trying to get back into this football game.
If I coached Rome, Torian Smith would never leave the field.
Never.
Otis Spivey in at fullback now. They bring Smith in as a wing, or actually to a tight end position on the right side of the line. Waters goes under center. He's going to send it back in motion. He gives it to him around the right end, looking for the corner, and the Hurricanes shut him down. Another great play defensively. Jamar Watley, the ball carrier.
Yeah, Watley tried to get outside, but there was no way he was going to get outside of that Cartersville defense. Just as tough as it is to sweep against Rome, it's tough to get the corners consistently against the Cartersville defense. Rome has driven the ball, as you can see here, almost bobble that handoff, almost fumbled the football there, Scott. But Rome has been able to get here to the Cartersville 16-yard line, but it's been through the air, not on the ground. They have not been able to establish a running game.
Rome brings it up to the line. 3rd and long the call, and this time Waters is going to drop back under play action, has some time, throws over the middle of the field, and the ball is incomplete. Went through a couple sets of fingers before it hit the ground, and now it brings up 4th down, and Rome's got to make a decision.
Yeah, 2 guys for Rome had chances to catch that football, went right through the hands of number 9, Torrance Smith, and also Woodard in the back of the end zone. And Scott, when Waters threw that ball, Terrell Johnson was on top of Torrance Smith, but Torrance Smith is so big. As you can see, Woodward's tough catch for him because he was distracted by Smith on that play, but it's tough to get around Smith.
They will line up for the field goal. That kick will be no good. It goes wide left, and the Hurricanes will take over. Another great defensive stand for the purple and gold. 5:29 to play here in the 3rd quarter. It's Cartersville 27, Rome nothing.
And Scott, as you said, anything could happen in the second half. A lot of time left. But with the way that the Cartersville defense has played in this football game over the first 2.5 quarters, if you can score 4 touchdowns against this defense in a quarter and a half, you got a pretty good football team. But Cartersville really making a statement here in this football game.
And again, we've talked about it all year long. The Cartersville starters have not given up a touchdown. You can say they gave one up against Westminster because they did have a bunch of subs in there. Some starters were still in the game. Out of the eye, this time the Hurricanes hand off around to Terrell Johnson, who looks for the corner. He pushes his way across the 25, out to the 27-yard line, a pickup of 7 on first down, and the Hurricanes, and he comes up hobbling. Terrell going to the sidelines.
I think that's going to be a cramp, but what a luxury to have when Terrell Johnson can come out on offense and rest, and you throw in the freshman, number 17, Morgan Alexander, or you just stick number 1, Chris McClendon in there. You still got Spivey, you got Ty Davis, of course Barrett Knapp's out, but Cartersville with a stable of running backs.
Cartersville is going to call for a timeout. 4:59 to play here in the 3rd quarter on the Century Bank scoreboards. Cartersville leading it 27-0. We'll take a quick break and come back. You're watching the Workhorse Productions High School Football Game of the Week. And welcome back. Hurricanes with the football, 2nd and 3 the call, and they hand off to McClendon up the middle, who gets hit right at the line of scrimmage. Might have lost a yard on the play. And it's going to bring up 3rd and about 4.
Yeah, for Rome, number 56, Dante Wells was sitting there right there in the backfield. And some of these guys for Rome at defensive front's got a lot bigger than I thought they were. Wells, 6'3". They have him listed as 6'3", 260. I don't think he's quite that big, but they've got a few guys with some good size on defensive front.
Morgan Alexander dots the I for the Canes. 3rd and 4 the call, and now Lyle Allen changing the call at the line with the audible. 4:21 to go here, 3rd quarter. They hand off up the middle, and McClendon gets dropped just shy of the 1st down marker. We'll see the spot is, but I think it's going to be about a foot and a half short, and it will be. So Cartersville is going to bring the punt team on with a 27-0 lead. You don't want to do anything that might give Rome any type of momentum, and boy,
yeah, you can
what
see
a great
Torrance
tackle.
Smith, yeah, that's a good tackle, but Smith having to play a lot both ways. Of course, you start to tire a little towards the middle of 3rd quarter when you're going both ways, but that's a good tackle by any linebacker. But
I don't think he gets tired, Coach. I don't know where they find him, but every year Rome's got just a stud back there. An end-over-end kick will go out of bounds, and the ref will move up to the 41-yard line, and that's where Rome will take over 1st and 10. So Cartersville has to punt it away, and Rome will take over.
Yeah, that's not what Trent had in mind. He was trying to kick that ball away from Waters and got a little too much of that football and kicked it out of bounds. But, again, Trent Dittmer's done a great job again handling kickoffs, punts, PATs. You talk about a important man in this Cartersville football team. Trent Dittmer is pretty important now that he's a starting corner also, pretty vital.
Rome will come out of the wing tee. Again, they're going to send it back in motion. This time under play action. Waters rolls out, catches a great block, looks for the corner, steps up, and now a penalty flag comes out as the Hurricanes swarm around him up at the 43-yard line. A gain of 2 on 1st down. It'll bring up 2nd and 8, but that penalty flag is going to be dropped back at about the Rome 37, and I think it's going to be either a block in the back or a hold, and it is a hold. And that'll move him back from the spot of the foul. So that's going to be almost a 15-yard penalty.
Yeah, Waters had no one open, did the right thing, but running east-west against this defense is a tough thing to do. Rome now starting 1st down, and it's going to be about 20, 21 yards. But Scott Waters is taking some hits tonight from this Cartersville defense.
Well, it's just last year I felt like Rome, even though the score was only 21-14, I felt like Rome controlled the ball pretty much the entire game. I think that's pretty safe to say. Cartersville did make a run at it toward the end of the game. They had a couple big plays to get back into it, but I felt Rome was the better football team a year ago. Tonight, I think it's been a different story. Rome with the football this time. Waters drops back, hands off on the draw. They go up the middle, and is going to be brought down at the 31-yard line. The ball carrier for the Wolves that time was Ty Ragland.
Yes, it was 1st and 25, and Scott, I think that was 25 on the play. I think that was that Atwater? I think it was Atwater.
Okay.
On that play, but
Denver Atwater with the carry.
Picks up 5 yards, so it'll be 2nd about 20 for a 1st down here.
Ball spotted at the 30-yard line. Actually, I think it was a gain of 3 on the play.
It's going to be 22.
And this time, Waters drops back under some pressure, throws to the flat, has a receiver, and he's out of bounds up at the 41-yard line. Nice pickup of about 9 that time, and maybe 10 or 11 yards actually on the pickup. You see Waters rolling out, has some time, throws to the flat, and nice job that time on the reception by Denver Atwater.
And that was one of Waters' best passes of the night. Trent Dittmer, number 6, giving a lot of cushion. Of course, it was 2nd down at about 22. It's going to be 3rd and 10 now for a 1st down. But throwing the football is the only way that Rome has been able to pick up any yardage. Very little on the ground against the Cartersville defense tonight.
2:31 to play here, 3rd quarter. Rome brings it up to the line. They're going to send it back in motion. This time Waters drops back, has some time, throws over the middle of the field, has a receiver, and it's incomplete. That's going to bring up 4th down. It looks like the Wolves are going to have to punt.
And that was a good pass, again, by Waters. Atwater had it right there in his hand, hit his chest, and went to the ground, but he was open. Good delivery. Should have been caught. As it stands, it'll be 4th down, and Rome will have to punt again. And Corey Thacker has been impressive tonight with the punting duties here for Rome. A couple of 50-yarders tonight.
Rome with the football. Out to punt this one away. Thacker gets it back inside his own 30. An end-over-end kick will be fielded by Johnson at the 25. He loses the football. It's on the ground, and Rome has come up with it. So the first turnover of the night against the Canes, and Rome takes over at the 21-yard line.
Yeah, and that was not a muff. Had it been a muff, you can see, there's a flag on play. There's Terrell Johnson. He does have possession. That was a fumble on the play.
I think there's going to be a penalty against the Wolves here. And boy, is that a momentum changer.
Rome can't catch a break tonight, Scott. The first big break of the game, and there's a flag on the play.
His name is escaping me, and I'll check the referee's card in a minute or two here. They're going to wave off the flag. So Rome will have the ball at the 21-yard line.
And a huge opportunity here for the Rome offense with a chance to get points on the board. 2:15 to go here as you see the replay again. 2:15 to go in the third quarter. Cartersville up 27-0. And that was not a muff. That was a fumble. Had Atwater been able to get possession to scoop that ball up, he could have returned that for a touchdown.
Coach Barden pretty excited here with 2:15 to play in the third quarter. He knows no lead is safe against this Rome team. I think he's just upset, wondering why they picked up the flag.
As you can guess, Barton isn't happy about this.
At least they didn't call block in the back on the defense. We had a couple of block in the back on defense last week.
Rome with the football out of the wing tee. They're going to send a back in motion, and this time they're going to run right up the middle. Spivey carrying the football inside the 20 down to the Hurricane 17-yard line. A gain of 6 on first down, brings up second and short, and the clock continues to run near the 2-minute mark.
Of course, if you're the Cartersville defense, you don't want to relax here. It's very easy, Scott, when you're up 27-0. They're in good field position to kind of relax on defense. But, I know Coach Chester is urging on the defense. They still want to try to preserve the shutout here in this third quarter.
Ball on the 16-yard line, a minute and 40 seconds to play here, third quarter. Waters will go under center. Wing to the right side of the formation. Spivey in the backfield, and he keeps it himself up the middle on the option. Goes across the 10 down to about the 9-yard line. He'll get the first down and a couple more, and Rome will move the chains.
Yeah, and they struggle running that play, Scott, with the fullback. The mesh with the quarterback, fullback going a little too tight on that play and kind of threw Waters off a little, but Waters doing a smart thing and running right in behind the fullback to pick up the first down. And now Rome is going to be first and goal on the Cartersville, just inside the 10-yard line.
Third play of the drive coming up here for the Wolves. Waters will come with one back in the backfield out of the wing tee, and this time he hands off around the left end to Woodyard, who's looking for the corner, and he's going to be hit, gets away from one would-be tackler, and is going to be dropped just short of the goal line. And the clock continues to run, and now a penalty flag on the field. And that's going to be on Torian Smith. It's going to be a personal foul, I think, for a late hit. And unfortunately for the Canes, they've got an injured player on the field.
That's going to be Kenny Thomas, number 53 Thomas for Cartersville.
He seems to be getting up okay. Might have just gotten the wind knocked out of him. Boy, if that's a personal foul, that'll be 15 yards.
Yeah, I'm not sure what his injury is, but it looks like he's favoring his left shoulder there, Scott.
Boy, he has played his heart out tonight, too.
Oh, he's played great all year.
Let's see what it is. Personal foul. It was a late hit on Torian Smith. He went headhunting after the play. So Yeah, it's not. It's a loss of down because the play is a dead ball foul after the play, so not a loss of down, but the down counts.
Right.
So instead of 2nd and goal from the 2, it's going to be 2nd and goal from the 17, and the Wolves will bring it up to the line. We're inside a minute to play here in the 3rd quarter. Rome brings it up to the line. Waters will go under center. Wing to the right side of the formation. They're going to send it back in motion. Waters drops back to pass, throws to the flat, has time, and the ball is incomplete. And it's going to bring up 3rd and goal.
Again, Waters starting to warm up now in the passing game. That was a nice pass. Woodard, number 3, was not able to hold on. Terrell Johnson diving, trying to break that pass up. Thomas coming out, and number 48, Luke Pye, who's been injured most of the year, coming into the football game for Kenneth Thomas. And there's not a whole lot of drop-off there. Luke Pye, starting at the defensive end position as a sophomore last year, has been plagued by injuries this year, but Luke Pye, a good football player.
44 seconds to play here, 3rd quarter. Rome with the football. They trail 27-0. They face 3rd and goal from the Hurricane 18-yard line. And this time Waters is going to drop back under some pressure now. Steps inside, and he gets hit hard. And he's dropped back at the 22-yard line. Great defensive effort by the purple and gold. That brings up 4th down. And now with 30 seconds to go here in the 3rd quarter, what do you do if you're Rome? Do you settle for 3, or do you try to get something on the board?
Well, Scott, they got to score a touchdown. And you see number 9, Brendan Houston, made that play, coming up hard, forcing Waters to pull up. And then there's number 35, Darius Benham. And here comes the purple and gold, and Waters goes down. Rome going for a field goal because they're about 22 yards out. They'll have to score a touchdown, but they're going to kick.
So coming on to attempt the field goal is David Guilford. Puts it down. This will be a 39-yarder. The kick is on the way, and it's good. He splits the uprights from 39 yards away. And at the end of 3, it's now Cartersville 27, Rome 3 on the Century Bank scoreboard. We'll take a quick break and come back with quarter number 4. You're watching the high school football game of the week. And there you see the Hurricane bench as they rally around one of their fallen warriors. Kenny Thomas wearing number 53 now, and let's go down to John Nelson. What do you have for us, John?
Now this one is a little more perplexing. The way that it shapes up so far, he isn't saying anything. As he's walking up and down the sidelines, he's short of breath. They're reminding him more than anything just to breathe. They think it might be something wrong with his arm, contact to the radius or the ulna bone here. But right now he's just so mad about being out of the game that he's more focused about being in the game than he's focused about being how he is injured. Scott, back up to you.
Thanks a lot, John. And there you have the kickoff return. Justin Spivey across the 35 out to the 37-yard line. And with 11:54 to play here in the contest, Cartersville takes over, and they'll have fairly good field position. And they're going to try to eat some clock.
Yeah, Gifford on that kickoff lined up as if he was going to pooch it up or onside kick, and then backed up 10 yards and kicked a low-line drive to Spivey on that play. Cartersville will start 1st and 10 at the Cartersville 37-yard line. And as you stated, Scott, 11:54 in the 4th quarter, just starting this 4th quarter. Cartersville up 27-3, and you would love to be able to knock off 5 or 6 minutes here on this drive.
Well, the Hurricanes will bring it up to the line. They're going to bring the tight end to the right side of the formation, out of the eye, and this time they hand off to Terrell Johnson up the middle. He's going to be brought down for no gain, and the clock continues to run.
That time the tackle made by number 56 for Rome, Dante Wells, a 6'3", 260-pound junior on that play. But most importantly for Cartersville, the clock now begins to tick and becomes the enemy of the Rome football team. Of course, Cartersville gets 21, Terrell Johnson, out of the football game. And, Scott, what do you think the chances are Cartersville running a sweep on this play?
With Morgan Alexander in the game, they may be good. This time they hand off to him up the middle. He's loose across the 45, looking for the corner, and he's going to be brought down near the midfield stripe. A nice effort by the freshman. He picks up 13 on 2nd down, and the Hurricanes will move the sticks.
They run the isolation, but Morgan Alexander run right at the right side of Rome defense. As you can see again on the replay, Morgan Alexander. Scott, that's great vision. Number 9, All-American linebacker, Torrin Smith, in the grass. Couldn't get a hand on the freshman. 17, Morgan Alexander.
Well, the Hurricanes will bring it up to the line, just shy of the midfield stripe. They'll work out of the eye. They're going to bring twins to the left side of the formation, and Tremble and Darius White. McClendon in at fullback, and the Hurricanes jump off sides.
Scotty McClendon, I know Rome led up on that play, but he had some running room on that play. As you see, Kenneth Thomas still trying to loosen up the mystery injury, as John discussed on the sideline.
It just hurts. So that'll back the Canes up to the 45, brings up 1st and 15, and the clock stops with 10:51. Now they're going to run the clock. That's the only good thing for the Canes right now.
Get an extra play and run clock run.
Well, the 24-point advantage, the Hurricanes with a 3-touchdown cushion with 3 2-point conversions that Rome would need to catch up. The Canes will run again to Alexander, who gets caught in the backfield. He's dropped for a loss on the play. He loses 8 on 1st down. It's going to bring up 2nd and long, but good news is the clock is running.
Yeah, they tried to run a counter that time with Alexander, but no chance on that play. Great penetration by the Rome defense. Josh Hines in the backfield making the tackle.
Morgan Alexander now 4 carries, 22 yards, 1 touchdown. Had better stats before that carry.
Yeah, and I tell you, it's still not over. That Rome defense better not relax. 17 will burn you.
Out of the eye, the Hurricanes bring it up to the line. This time they hand off on the fullback trap up the middle to McClendon. He's loose across the 45, down to the Rome 42-yard line. And the Hurricanes are in business again. Brings up 3rd and short.
Scott, he almost broke it on the previous play where there's a penalty, but there goes baby Herschel right there. Chris McClendon with the football. And watch the end of this run. That's the way Chris McClendon finishes all his runs. It's always going forward. Not very big, 5'7", probably 185, 90 pounds. Runs a 40 under 4.5, but he is nothing but all muscle.
He is built like a fire hydrant. And the Hurricanes bring it up to the line. They're going to run with 1 back in the backfield. That's Alexander. They'll go twins to the left side of the formation, tight end to the right side. They pitch it out to Alexander. He steps inside, crosses the 40, gets loose across the 35, the 30, at the 20, the 15, the 10, the 5, and he's wrestled down at the 4-yard line, and the Hurricanes are knocking on the door. 9:02 to play here in the contest, and the Hurricanes are trying to put an exclamation point on this one.
Scott, we said don't get tired defense. We've seen it week after week. 17 will burn you, and as you can see, Morgan Alexander burn in the 4th quarter again for the Hurricane offense. Saving tackle by the secondary Rome, or Morgan Alexander would have another touchdown.
Cartersville brings it up to the line. They'll work out of the eye. They're going to go tight end to the right side of the formation. McClendon and Morgan Alexander again in the backfield, and this time they hand off to Alexander up the middle, who pushes his way inside the 5 down to about the 3-yard line, a gain of 1, but that clock continues to run. It'll be 2nd and goal.
Scott, Alexander's fresh this week. They didn't have a freshman game this week. No freshman JV games. So, he can play all of his allotted quarters tonight and making the most of his opportunity with Terrell Johnson out of the football game right now.
8:17 to go here in the contest. Cartersville has really handed it to Rome tonight. 27-3 your score on the Century Bank scoreboard. Cartersville brings it out, twins to the right side of the formation, Tremble and Darius White. Under center this time goes Allen. He pitches it out to Alexander, who steps inside at the 5 and is going to be brought down right at the line of scrimmage. No gain. It brings up 3rd and goal, but the clock continues to run.
Scott, the thing I'm impressed with Morgan Alexander is the vision. As you can see, this play is designed to go a little wider than it was, but seeing that he had nothing outside, look at the vision of the freshman. Needs to do a little better job of tucking that football, but great vision by Morgan Alexander to get back to the line of scrimmage.
Well, Lyle Allen gets the play from the sidelines and brings it to the huddle. 7:28 to go here in the contest. 27-3 your score. Cartersville looking for a little more right here. They're going to run twins to the right side of the formation. In that offset eye, McClendon and Alexander, and this time on the naked bootleg, he rolls out, and Lyle Allen into the end zone for 6, and Cartersville now leads it 33-3, and they are just hammering their rivals from Northwest Georgia.
Scott, give Coach Barton a lot of credit. What a call. Naked bootleg. Rome had no clue where the ball was. Lyle Allen practically walked into the end zone, but give the offensive staff of Cartersville, Coach Jones, Coach Barden, incredible job of coaching the guys up, getting them ready to play against a good Rome football team tonight that Cartersville has totally dominated.
Snap is down. The kick is up. It is good. The Canes lead it 34-3, and we'll take a look at the touchdown run. Again, Allen in the naked bootleg into the end zone for 6. Cartersville now leads it 34-3, and we'll take a quick break and come back with the kickoff on the Century Bank scoreboard. You're watching the high school football game of the week. We'll be right back after this. And welcome back. You're watching the high school football game of the week. 7:11 to go here in this one. Cartersville with a commanding 34-3 lead. And boy, it has been all purple and gold tonight. This is one of the more impressive games the Hurricanes have played in the last couple of years.
Scott, the question has been asked, how good is Cartersville? Well, pretty darn good tonight.
An end-over-end kick gets fielded at the 10. They'll bring it back the other way across the 15, still on his feet. Reverses his field, and he's going to be dropped right at the 30-yard line. The return man that time, Jamar Watley, and he'll give Rome fairly good field position.
And, of course, you know, there are going to be some that are going to say, well, you know, Rome was overrated. Rome's not really that good. But I'm telling you, this Cartersville football team can make you look bad. This is a pretty daggum good football team.
This is a good Rome football team. This is almost everybody back from a year ago, a team that their only loss was to Northside Warner Robins, a team that went on to win the state championship, and they lost.
And that was the closest football game they had in the state tournament.
Yeah. I mean, a 34-31 loss in the state quarterfinals, and then Warner Robins went on to embarrass everybody in the dome. Great tackle that time by number 42, Lee Harn.
Yeah, and Scott, we're starting to call Lee Harn's name more and more, but running sideline to sideline, making plays that time on the speed sweep. But running the football has been near impossible against this Cartersville front seven.
There you see head coach Stuart Chester. He's coached a magnificent game tonight on the defensive side of the ball. 2nd and 11 the call. 6:29 to go in this game. Rome brings it up to the line. Some of the younger guys getting in a little bit here. A couple substitutions have been made. Now they go down in the backfield, and Waters gets hit and dropped back at the 20. And
has anybody blocked Darius Benham all night?
I don't think they have. Let's take a look at this one on the instant replay right now. They send the back in motion. Waters under play action, and boy, he just has no time to even think. And there comes Benham, just welcoming him to the turf here at Weinman Stadium.
Wow, Darius Benham, just a terrific athlete, terrific football player. You know, if he didn't have to play on the defensive line, Scott, he looked like number 9, Torrance Smith, at the middle linebacker, and Darius Benham would be a great one, which is probably where he'll play at the next level.
Right. 3rd and long the call. Rome brings it up to the line. They're going to work out of the wing tee. They send it back in motion, and this time they hand off right up the middle. And Otis Spivey gets near the 29, but it's going to bring up 4th down, and Rome is going to be forced to kick it away at the 5:23 mark here in this one.
Rome showing the respect that they have gained for this Cartersville defense. 3rd down, about 17 to go for a 1st down, and they try to run a trap just to move the ball and move it out a little bit in order to punt the football, but they can't run the football against Cartersville.
Terrell Johnson and Justin Spivey back deep to receive. The snap is back. A high floating kick. Whoa, what a kick that is. Spivey will have to go back to his own 20. Steps up, looks for a block, steps in, reverses his field, and gets dropped at the 34-yard line. And Justin Spivey, he's played a good game tonight. Probably an emotional game for him.
Yeah, he has. Good game by Justin and Scott. Really, this entire Cartersville football team, offensively, defensively, special teams. Cartersville well coached, well prepared to play this football game tonight. And, you know, give a skull on the back of the shirts of the coaching staff because they've done a great job of preparing this football team.
Lyle Allen will now bring him up to the line. 4:45 to go in this one. 34-3 your score. Cartersville in full command. A 31-point blowout tonight. Lyle Allen steps under center. Tight end to the left side of the formation. He hands off to McClendon up the middle, who bowls his way across the 40 out to the 41, a gain of 6 yards on first down, brings up 2nd and 4.
Yeah, there goes Baby Herschel again on the fullback trap. Chris McClendon each week just continues to impress with his hard running style. But Scott, again, that offensive line at Cartersville really came on midway through the second quarter, and they're beginning to push this Rome defensive front around. And make no bones about it, I mean, Rome's probably going to win their region again, and they're going to make it into the second, third round of the state playoffs in Quad A.
Oh, I have no doubt this is a very good football team. It's just Cartersville has played very well tonight. Last week, Alexander goes out of bounds. A late hit, no penalty flag. Hopefully Alexander's all right.
Yeah, that was very close to being a late hit on that play. But as you stated, no flag.
Close. Hit him on the bench. Should be enough for the first down, though, and the Hurricanes will move the sticks.
Of course, you want to tell Alexander, a freshman, stay in bounds. Of course, you know, that's easy to say when you see Hudson 6'4", 215 coming at you on the sideline, but, you know, you want to stay in bounds and keep that clock running.
His shoulder pads probably weigh more than Morgan Alexander.
They're going to come across, Scott, and measure for the first down.
3:59 to go in this game. Cartersville trying to put the finishing touches on what has been a spectacular evening from the get-go. The Hurricanes got it done early. Their first play offensively of the game. They go 48 yards over the top to Tony Stevens. Lyle Allen completes it, and Cartersville in business.
And if you're going to be in a fight, Scott, you want to throw the first punch. And Cartersville threw the first punch on their first possession when they went on top. Hit Tony Stevens deep. From that point on, it was on.
Look at the,
nice
hold
mask.
hold on the face mask of Seth Malden. I tell you, it's a war in the trenches tonight.
I tell you what, they wouldn't have gotten away with that last week with that crew we had at Paulding County.
Cartersville with the football. It'll be 3rd and inches. I wonder what they'll do. Morgan Alexander in the game along with Brian Long at fullback. Lyle Allen will go under center. Long snap count. He just pushes his way forward, and that's going to be good enough for a first down, and the Hurricanes will move the sticks.
Of course, if you're scouting Cartersville, when there's a quarterback sneak, it's always going to be towards that left side. Of course, that's where that big, huge left tackle is. Joseph Gilbert going about 6'4", 6'5", about 280 pounds. He is a mountain on that side. And the junior. Lyle Allen trying to get the band to pipe it down a little bit. Of course, we've got possession of the ball. We'll make sure we don't get a penalty here with anybody jumping offside.
Out of the eye, they hand off again to Morgan Alexander, who tries to get to the corner. Breaks one would-be tackler and gains about a yard on the play, and the clock will continue to run. We'll be under 3 minutes before the Hurricanes have to run another play.
Of course, Cartersville on this football game electing to stay with their starters, up 34-3. Of course, in the backfield, you got Morgan Alexander. You know, how do you not call him a starter? You know, with the way he can run the football, that's not much of a break for the opposing team.
Cartersville brings it up to the line. They're going to work out of the eye this time, and they hand off to Brian Long up the middle, who pushes his way for maybe a yard. And the clock continues to run.
Brian Long running the belly play on that play. Brian seeing a little time. His first action, first carry of the night from fullback position. 2:29 to go here in the fourth quarter. It's going to be Cartersville 3rd down and 9. It's on the Cartersville 46-yard line. Cartersville up on Rome 34-3.
Canes will work from their own 46-yard line. Twins to the right side of the formation. Darius White, Jeremy Trimble. Allen goes under center this time. Hands off up the middle, and Alexander better get down. He's just
quick.
Yeah.
Yeah, had one man to beat. The guy got a hand on Alexander 5 yards deep in the backfield. And Cartersville's going to punt this football. course, you got a lot of guys sitting over there on the sideline celebrating and relaxing, and you got coaches screaming punt team, but you got some guys over there enjoying the band and enjoying this victory.
Out of the eye, out of the punt formation rather, Trent Dittmer kicks it deep. It'll be a fair caught at the 25-yard line. Why was he doing that? Waters.
Well, Scott, I think they had the block on. Of course, they weren't close to blocking it, and all Waters saw was about 10 purple jerseys coming at him, so that's probably why he decided to fair catch that ball. He probably could have picked up about 5 yards, but he was going to have a headache at the end of it.
First and 10, the call.
Rome now going with number 10, Corey Thacker, Scott. He's now in at quarterback. Thacker also the punter for the Rome football team with 1:20 to go here in the fourth quarter.
Again, out of the wing tee, they're going to send it back in motion, and this time gives it to him around the left end, looking for the corner, and here come the Hurricanes, and they'll meet him in the backfield and drop him for a loss, but a penalty flag is going to come out. We'll see what the call is.
Yeah, and Watley trying to turn it up inside, looking for somewhere to go, but great job of pursuit by the Cartersville defense. There's nowhere to go. You can't outrun them. You can't cut back. The only thing he could do is take the loss, and on top of that, there's holding against Rome.
So with 1:12 to go in the game, the Wolves are going to be backed up.
And number 7 in the football game, Byron Hall for Cartersville, filling in at corner for Justin Spivey. Morgan Alexander also about to go into the football game. With Byron Hall in for, instead of Spivey, he's in for 21, Terrell Johnson. Cartersville takes a penalty, Scott, and it's a big one. Rome back on their 9. They've got to get to the Rome 35 for a first down.
Rome hands off up the middle this time, and they'll get very little yardage. The Wolves are going to concede this game. A 34-3 game right now. Cartersville in full command of this one. The purple and gold came out, and they hit the Wolves in the mouth from the get-go and really didn't let up.
Scott, we talked about a big football game and a close contest. We talked about the rivalry, but it was no contest.
This was a statement game for the Hurricanes. I think they feel like they achieved the #1 ranking the first time since they've won the state championship. In fact, the year they won the state championship, the only week they were ranked #1 was the week they won it.
There were doubters all year, and there have been doubters this year, but the state would have to take note of this victory.
Rome with the football running around the right end. They'll get dropped at the 15, a gain of 4 or 5 on the play. The ball carrier that time, number 26, DeVito Garrett. And that could be the last play of the game. 14 seconds to go, now 10 seconds to go in the contest, and I don't think the Wolves are going to run another play. I think they're going to call this a game, and that will do it. Your final here from Weinman Stadium, Cartersville 34, Rome 3, and the Wolves are going to have to take that long drive back up Highway 411. Cartersville invited them down to their house, and they beat them up for 48 minutes. And it has been a fantastic ball game and a fantastic win for the Purple and Gold tonight. It didn't come at no cost. They have had some costly injuries tonight, including Barrett Knaps, who went down with a knee injury. Hopefully he'll be all right. We'll take a quick break and come back and break this one down. You've been watching the High School Football Game of the Week. And welcome back. You've been watching the High School Football Game of the Week, and there you have your final 34-3 as Cartersville moves to 5-0 in their non-region schedule, and they open up the region next Friday night, and they'll return here to Weinman Stadium, a place I feel like we haven't been at almost all year. Only second home game of the year after the first week of the season, but they play another big rival as Cass comes over here as they open up. Not only is it a big rivalry game, but they also open up the region schedule. We take a look at some of the final numbers. We'll recap the scoring here from Weinman Stadium. The Canes got on the board early, 9:43 to play in the opening quarter. Tony Stevens caught a 48-yard touchdown pass from Lyle Allen. He was behind all the coverage, and he walked into the end zone. That made it 6-0 with the missed PAT. At the 7:27 mark, Chris McClendon bolted 31 yards in for the scores. He surprised the Rome defense. That made it 13-0. Then just before the half at the 3:33 mark, Chris McClendon broke off a 66-yard touchdown run. This time he bobbed and weaved his way through the entire Rome defense and walked away with a huge touchdown run that made it 20-0 at the break. The Hurricanes came out again in the second half and got it done on their first possession. 17-yard touchdown run that time by Morgan Alexander. That made it 27-0. Cartersville was in business. Then Rome got on the board at the end of the third quarter. David Guilford kicked a 40-yard, 39-yard field goal. That made it 27-3, and then Lyle Allen put an exclamation point on the victory late in the game in the fourth quarter. 7:11 to play, a 4-yard touchdown run around the left end. He walks into the end zone for 6. Cartersville walks away with a 34-3 victory, and what an effort it was.
And Scott, let's reflect back on what the Cartersville football team has done. They've gone on the road to Murray County, on the road to Westminster, on the road to Paulding County. Even though those teams are down a little from last year, 3 pretty good programs. They've dominated those football games and now come back home to play a good Rome team. Being away for 4 weeks, it's been impressive what this football team has been able to accomplish.
Looking at some of the final numbers for the Canes, Lyle Allen, a big night. 4-9 passing, 116 yards and a touchdown. 1 carry, 4 yards, and a score. Also carrying the football, Chris McClendon, 9 carries, 114 yards, 2 touchdowns. Terrell Johnson, 7 carries, 29 yards. Morgan Alexander, 8 carries, 62 yards, and a score. Tony Stevens, 1 big reception for 48 yards. Terrell Johnson, another big reception for 58 yards. And Cartersville walks away with the victory. And look at what the defense did. Brian Waters, 4 of 11 passing for just 72 yards, 1 INT. Carried the ball 7 times for 27 yards. Otis Spivey, 9 carries, 21 yards. I mean, they shut down a very good Rome football team tonight, and they did it at home, and now they get to return home again next week against Cass.
Cass next week, and this is what you've been waiting on. You know, the first 5 games have been really tune-ups, preliminaries, and the region will start next Friday night here at Wyman Stadium, Cartersville against Cass. It's more than just a rivalry now. This game counts, so you know Cass is going to come in geared up and ready to play. And, of course, Cartersville is going to be excited about being here and having Cass come into Wyman Stadium.
And that's going to do it for another one of our broadcasts. I'd like to thank the crew for tonight's game. Jason Woodside directing things down in the truck. Matt Callahan on one camera. John Nelson on another. Dusty Taff coming in on a camera. And, of course, Jeff Coleman working camera as well. Again, you've been watching the high school football game of the week, and there's your final on the Century Bank scoreboard, 34-3. I'd also like to thank Chris's Pizza, Pasta and More for supplying the pregame meal for the crew, and that's going to do it for another broadcast. We'll see you again next week as we open up region play here at Weinman Stadium. Kickoff set for 7:30. It'll be Cass and Cartersville as they tee it up once again. You've been watching the high school football game of the week. We'd also like to thank all of our sponsors. Remember, all rights are reserved by Workhorse Productions. We'll see you again next week.